Welcome into today's crochet tutorial. Hello yarn friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Morgan with Dream 9 Design. Now today I'm going to be showing you how to make this easy steering wheel cover. Now I do want to note everybody's steering wheel is a little bit different, so I will go over sizing in just a minute. I do want to take note to mention that this inspiration was taken from Grace and Frankie season 4, I believe, and it was episode 11, I think, but here's a picture of that. I absolutely loved it, so I went ahead and figured out how I could make one similar. Now, if you measure here, this is going to be about 18 inches, so you would double that for the circumference, but this fits perfectly. You do want to make sure that it is a little bit smaller than your steering wheel, but if you're going to follow along with me, I feel like this should fit most standard sizes, and it does measure about 5 inches tall. So let's go ahead and jump into the material and let's get started. If you have not yet done so already, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and let's get going. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to be using this blue yarn, but you will want any size 4-weight yarn. Let's see, I'll show you right here. So anything that's a medium 4-weight yarn. This is just some Red Heart Super Saver, and then I use this to actually secure it to my steering wheel. You can sew it however you like to do, but this is the Deco Stardust Crystal Palace yarn. Not sure if this is available to order anymore, but that's what I will be using to tie it on. And then you will also need a G 4mm hook and a pair of scissors. Let's go ahead and get started. You will probably also need a stitch marker, so make sure you grab one of those as well. For demonstration reasons, I'm not going to be doing another full size one. I'm going to be doing a little bit smaller size just so that I can, a little sample size so that I can show you guys just how to make it. But I'm going to tell you the original stitch count. So to begin, we want to start with a slip knot, just like that. And we want to chain, if you're going to be making the same size here, you are going to chain 120 chains. So yarn over and pull your work through your thing right there. So there's 1, here's 2, here's 3. I'm only going to chain 60 just for demonstration purposes, but for the steering wheel cover, go ahead and chain 120 chains and then meet me back here. Okay, again, remember, if you're following along with the original size, you should have chained 120. Now, you want to straighten out your chain because we are actually going to join to the very first stitch. So we want to make sure that this is completely straight and not twisted. And then we are going to go into our first stitch right here. We are going to make a slip stitch. So pull through both of your work. So this is what it should look like. Again, you're going to have a much larger size. If you measure your steering wheel and you feel you need more stitches, that's fine. Just increase in numbers of 4. So if you need to increase more, increase by 4s. If you need to make it smaller for a smaller steering wheel, take away by 4 stitches. But for mine, I did 120 chains. Now from here, once you have joined, for row 1, what we want to do is chain up 4, or chain up 3, excuse me, 2 and 3. Now back into the same space, we are going to put 3 double crochets into the same space. So here is 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now this is going to be our very first space. Now what we want to do is skip 3 spaces, 1, 2, and 3, and then into the 4th chain from the hook, we are going to make a single crochet. Okay, so we're going to single crochet into there. Now we will chain up 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to place 3 more double crochets back into that same space. Okay, so from the same space, let me take this out. The same space where we just single crocheted and chained 3 from, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we are going to make 2 more double crochets back into that same space. Now, this is a pretty easy pattern, guys, and it's a really easy repeat. Okay, so now we're going to skip 1, skip 2, skip 3, and then into the 4th chain from the hook is where we are going to single crochet, chain 3, and then place 3 more double crochets back into that same space. Go ahead and do this all the way around for row 1, and I will meet you back here to show you row 2, and that's our repeat round. So meet me back here for round 2. I do just want to take a brief moment to say thank you to today's sponsor. Cincom is our sponsor for today's video. These amazing hand massagers, this one specifically is the model number CM088H, is amazing for anybody who has any hand pain or who likes to crochet, work with their hands, or anything along that lines. After working with something like this, if I were to make quite a few of them, I would most definitely be going to my Cincom after to make sure that I can give my hands a nice luxurious break. Now, these Cincom machines come in 2 different types of machines. There are 2 different styles. They do have 3 different intensity levels. There are 3 different modes, and there is also heat options as well. Now, what I really like about these hand machines is that it's not too much of a massage, but more of a compression and kneading of your fingers. It is something that also really just helps my hands and helps me unwind after a long day of crocheting and fiber arts. Again, I do want to say thank you to Cincom for today's sponsorship. Please check the description box down below, as I do have a 10% off discount code for your first order. Please make sure to check out their website and go claim your Cincom hand massager today. This is what it should look like once you have row 1 done. Again, your sizing is going to be much larger. You should have a total of 120 of these little boxes. Or excuse me, you should have a total of 29 boxes for your chain of 120 chains. So go ahead and count, make sure that you have 29 of these boxes. For me, I have 15 because I chained 60. So 60 divided by 4 is 15. 120 divided by 4 is going to be 29. So 29 boxes. Moving on to round 2, and round 2 is going to be our repeat row, so I'm going to show you this one time, and then you guys are going to repeat this for the next few rows. So moving here, we are just going to make a single crochet, chain 1, 2, and 3. So now we're just going to start all over again. So this is our chain 3 of our previous row, and I will show you that one more time, in case that was confusing on the join. So we are going to join into this chain 3 space that we made initially. So remember, we made a chain of 3 and then we did our 3 double crochets into the same space. In between this chain and the 3 double crochets, that's where we're going to be working. So right here, when we move on, you will see our chain 3, and it looks like I missed a couple stitches there, and then your 3 double crochets. So we're going to go right there. And then here you'll see your chain 3 and the 3 double crochets. That's where we're going to be working at. So this is our first one. So we will go into that space and pull up some yarn, yarn over, and make a single crochet. Chain 3. And then we're going to make 3 double crochets back into that same space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now you see we climbed up, so I'm actually going to take my stitch marker I'm going to put it in this chain 3 space that we just made, because that is going to be the first space of round 2. So moving on, you'll go to the next chain 3 space right here that you see, make a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and make 3 more double crochets back into the same space, 2 and 3. Go into the next chain 3 space, make a single crochet, chain 3, and then make 3 more double crochets back into that same space. So round 2 is our repeat row. So we are just going to continue to do this, moving up our stitch marker, for a total of 10 to 11 of these blocks. So it just depends. Now on mine here, I did 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So go with the measurements for your steering wheel. I know some steering wheels are thicker. Mine's a little bit thinner. But if you're just going to follow along with me and see if it fits, go ahead and make sure that you have a total of 11 of these rows. I would even maybe recommend doing 10, because I feel like mine gets a little big, because they do stretch. So you want to make sure that when you're doing this, it is a lot smaller than the size of your steering wheel, because it's going to stretch, and you want to make sure that it's snug. So go ahead and do this. I'll meet you back here and I will show you guys how to finish this off by doing the final round. Again, I'm doing a sample size, so when I reach the end of row 2, I'm just going to show you guys how to finish this off. Again, for demonstration purposes, I'm doing a little bit of a smaller size, but let's just say you went ahead and you did your 10 to 11 rows, and now you're back at the beginning and we want to finish off. We're ready to go. So we are going to make a single crochet into the first stitch. Once you have your single crochet into the first stitch, go ahead and place your stitch marker. Once you have your single crochet done, you want to make sure that you place your stitch marker so that you know exactly where we are at here. Now remember, we are doing the last row of this, so do not start doing this at row 3. Do this at the end of row 10 or at the end of row 11, whichever you choose to do for your size. Now we have a single crochet. Now into our next space, which is going to be the first of the 3 double crochets, we are going to make a one more single crochet right there. Into the next space, we will place a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Now into this last space right here, we want to make a double crochet. So yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Now into this next chain 3 space, we want to join with a single crochet. Into the next space, we will place 1 single crochet. Into the next one, which is going to be that second double crochet, we are going to place a half double crochet. And then into the last space before we get to like our next little box here where that chain 3 is, we want to place a double crochet. And this is going to be our edging. Now I'll show you one more time. So here's our last box. We have our chain 3, we have our 3 double crochets in that little block. We are going to join with a single crochet into the chain 3, a single crochet into the next, a half double crochet into the following, and then a double crochet into our last space right here. So you just continue to do that until you get all the way back to the beginning. As you see, it gives it this really nice flat edge. When you are all done, you want to go through and sew in your ends, but I will show you here on my piece. Okay, so this is the edge that we just did. And then I like to go through and then just cut a little bit of this And make sure that you secure this really tightly to your steering wheel, as you guys saw in the beginning, how I kind of had it secured. You can also sew it with a needle and thread if you want to do it that way. I hope you guys joined in today's video. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and I will see you guys all next time for another video from Dream9 Design. But today we have this super easy, awesome steering wheel cover inspired by Grace and Frankie.